Hello, guys, and welcome to A.I.M. So, today in A.I.M., we are starting a very special series that is Mind with Experts, and we have our expert and the data geek, Thom, with us. So, through this series, we aim to teach you and help you in every possible way and help you in mentoring and giving your doubts get cleared. I hope you will like this series. Thom is also known as the data geek or the data god, and he's been very helpful in mentoring me and showing me the path, helping me with the blog post and all. And yeah, with the blog post, he also has a blog called Integrated MLAI, where he encourages young talent to come and write and support him in them in every possible way. So now I'll be welcoming Thom with us, and I hope he's gonna love this session. So Thom, can you tell more about us? I mean, more about you and your blog, Integrated MLAI.
Sure. And the full name is Integrated Machine Learning and AI. And I started writing it a while ago now. I love it. Um, when I think about how fast we're required to learn now, and the things are so cool, but a lot of times people get mystified by the mathematical language or the coding language. And um, the goal is just to bring it down to earth more, to make it simpler in explanation. I don't mean to criticize the old works. I certainly learned a lot from those. It took a while for me to learn the language, but I see that the arts within data science in general and all things STEM can be passed on, I think, in ways that just communicate to the new people a little more clearly. Because once you master the concepts, you look back and you think, that is so beautiful and so elegant. Why did I make it so hard? And we're trying to bridge that gap to say, oh, that wasn't hard because of the way it was explained. But also, I think it's important that we all learn to read the ancient mathematical language and explanations too. It's just that sometimes when people are new, it's a whole new language. And they don't think of it because they're reading English or they're reading their native tongue. But it really is a new language. And worse than that, it's a new way of thinking. So our goal at Integrated is to make that jump simpler for everyone.
And what are you popularly known on LinkedIn? The data geek?
Oh,
Through
I'm good buddies with Danny Ma. We've never even spoken on the phone, but we chat a lot. We've become really good friends. And he lives in Australia. I live in the Northwest US. But we were just coming up with for the follow on Fridays thing. I just said, yeah, I'm the data geek, because and my predictive analytics career spans outside of what people would think of as data science. It also crosses into the realm of multi-physics based modeling. And I would contend with anyone politely that area is part of data science because it absolutely has as its foundation data science principles, but it also uses a lot of physics. So there's a little bit of terminology differences between the two realms, but once you get over those humps, it's a lot of the same principles.
So the first question for you today is, what is data science for you? When you hear the word data science, what do you interpret it as?
Yeah, that's a great question because you hear the terms data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence used interchangeably, and it does muddy the waters of speech when we speak about it. But to me, data science is the all-encompassing term for things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and a thing we don't speak about very often, which is just expert systems. And I think those still have a huge place in our work as data data scientist. But data science, if we draw a big circle and start putting things inside it, and that big circle is data science, yes, we've got machine learning, artificial intelligence, expert systems, but I'd say one of the bigger areas is coding. Just getting really good at writing beautiful, elegant, reusable code that you're not embarrassed to share with other people. And I want to confess, I've written code I would not want others to see. But the point being, really, you save yourself so much time by being good at coding. And then once you're good at coding, get good at automating, making data flow. I love the term, the data must flow. And that means while it's flowing, we've got to comb through it. We've got to find what we need. We've got to clean it up. We've got to condition it in a way that our models or our other tools can use it. So all of that to me is data science. And I would even contend politely that someone that's becoming a really good expert at making dashboards and visualizations from that data flowing, to me, they're a data scientist. I don't like too much the distinguishing between data scientists and business analysts. To me, they're the same. They're just working in different domains.
Okay, so like when I was initially making my video, I read it in some blog that data science existed as a field long back in 1900s and 2000s, but it came into such popularity because the data got larger and the need to be accessed by everyone got larger. So the term became so sexiest job of the 21st century and very much
Yeah,
demandable job, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
so moving forward, the next question comes as, what is the difference between a data science, data engineer, and a data analyst?
The only difference I could see between a data scientist and a data analyst is a data scientist could include a researcher. And I would think typically a data analyst would um, not say that they are doing any type of research into the data sciences. Data engineers, to me, are the foundation for the work of data science. In fact, I was just reaching out to the two data engineers that I work with at UL Prospector, saying, "Hey, I have a release I need to do, and I want to make sure you guys are happy with the procedure I follow." I mean, I was really showing them deference because, hey, you guys run the river, and I need access to putting my tools in the river. And so to me, yes, there's a big distinction between a data scientist and a data engineer, and you find a rare few that are both. But data engineers are the keepers of the data, and data scientists are more like the shearers of the data sheep out there, that come through the data engineers pipelines. Sorry for
So
my
you No, no. So
so
you
is this
have a character called Ta in your blogs. So if you want to explain Ta, the difference between the three, what will be the way you will explain him? Okay, see, this is
Ta?
this. This works are done. Data engineers do this work. Data analysts do. So what will be your take on this?
Well, when I talk to Ta and Ta asks me these questions, I'm very careful to point out, now, Ta, you need to regard data analysts as your brothers and sisters in this field. The data engineers you need to be really good friends with because they serve up the food that your routines need to eat to create predictions and give value back to the community.
For you is, data science has become a millennial term nowadays. From teenagers studying in schools to adults, everyone wants to be a part of it. So what are your thoughts and take on this?
I have never been more thrilled because When I was an undergrad working on my senior design project, I got so excited that I could speed up the prototype time for our design using a prediction of how the system was going to perform with differential equations and calculus. So when I headed back to grad school, I was even more excited to become a modeling expert. And while I was working on my PhD, I started taking courses that were data sciencey, but we didn't really call it data science. That you were learning neural networks, or you were applying linear regression, or you were learning expert systems, and we were doing these things to augment our tool set, because even though control system design is super cool and super powerful, it has limits, and those limits can be overcome using other analytical techniques that we would consider in the data science realm now. So I always considered myself, I, a lot of times I just call myself a multi-physics engineer when I'm talking to other engineers. But really, it was a spirit of being an expert at doing predictive analytics, is the way I would describe it to my data science friends. I could not always do that tool set in industry, but I felt there was so much value there and I wanted to give it. And literally, data science exploded around me and I couldn't hear it. And a friend had to take me aside and say, Thom, you're a data scientist. I go, well, yeah, I would say I am. But do you realize what's going on? And literally, Manpreet, I got behind on terminology and some of the tools that had risen up. And so I went into study mode really quick and oh, this makes sense. Okay, that's an extension of what I learned 20 years ago. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And I had to kind of, I was working in a silo trying to be, a good predictive analyst, and then realized I need to pay more attention to what's going on around me.
Like recently, when I was reading about blogs and all, there are some institutes or forums, or you can say they teach to, fourth, fifth standards students about Python code, how data science. Do you think it's really an early age for them to learn, or it's okay to explore? Because there were news articles, a student of 10th standard getting a job in a multinational company as a data scientist. He's earning in lakhs. So does that affect education, a thought process, a childhood or something? In that terms, I wanted to ask you about the teenagers and stuff.
Oh, good, good. No, this is a great question. I hope I give the answer to the question you're posing, but I think this will help. Oh, and I should have finished off that last question by saying I'm thrilled because now predictive analytics is popular. And I always thought it should be. I just didn't realize, wow, the way it's growing now amazes me. So to the, as far as this idea of helping people get started in the field, I do have a lot of people reach out to me through various types of. We have social media, but now we have geek media like LinkedIn and more. And so a lot of young people do reach out to me and they want mentorship, but I just basically turn around and give them encouragement. What I find is a lot of them just are not certain what the best path is. And what I'm trying to help them to see is there's not a bad path. However, there can be an incomplete path. I'll give an example. This very smart young man was asking me, should I continue in my statistics program for my bachelor's and then do a master's in data science, or should I switch right now? And I said, I really don't think you can go wrong, and I don't want to make your life decisions. And then I taught him how to go about making the decision. But I also said, look, what you're going to need to do regardless is show that you're learning beyond your coursework, beyond your degree program, and that you're practicing what you learned. So you already know this, Manpreet. I'm really insistent on some way to display that you're passionate about data science with really good GitHub repos, with blog posts, with good LinkedIn posts, with doing competitions. And Kaggle's not the only one out there, guys. With just showing that you've been through a lot of the practice data sets in scikit-learn. All of those things are great. And you'll hear some people badmouth some of them. And that doesn't mean they're bad. It just means some people are upset at it's not always real data science, like in the real world for working for a company. And to a certain extent, that's true, because I would contend that at least 80% of what we do is data wrangling. And that's a term that means a lot of things. But in summary, to your excellent question, demonstrate to the world that you love data science through the extra activities you're doing outside your coursework, but also jump in and show that you care about the community. Um, it's a great community. Most people are not trying to establish a pecking order or browbeat you that they're smarter than you. They just want to help each other understand everything better. And that's the spirit I'm trying to foster, along with great people like Danny and Robert and Giuseppe and you and many others that I don't have time to name. That's the community I want to foster and be part of.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a very great insight to the question. The last question for today is it the hype and money involved in data science that people are moving towards it, the packages involved? And it's like more people saying, I'm a lead data scientist, I'm an ML engineer, I'm, NLP researcher or something. So, what are your views on it?
Well, oh, this is a big question, Manpreet. Um, you know, frankly speaking, we have jobs because we need to survive, right? And all of us think that, okay, if I get a data science job, and they do tend to pay more, I won't disagree with that. But at the same time, when you're a data scientist, you're only going to be a good one if you're careful to put in a lot of hours while you maintain a balanced life. You can't just overwork yourself and expect miracles. That will not work. If you live a very balanced life and you're working really hard, you might find that I don't like working this many hours. I would encourage people looking at data science for the money to think, is it really more about more money, or is it more dollars per time I spend actually making that money? Data science may not be for them. Why am I a data scientist? Or why do someone could even challenge, Thom, you have 3 degrees in mechanical engineering. And I'd say, well, yeah, but if you look at my curriculum, I'm really a multi-physics engineer, and I do control system design, and there's a lot of data science involved in my curriculum, and there's a lot of data science practice and a lot of Python from almost the day it was first invented. Not quite, but close. And this thing, it's really more about continual learning. So I would encourage people looking at data science to ask, do you love data? Do you love the power of data? Do you love what you can do with data? That way, since we're all survivalists and we're getting jobs so we can have shelter and eat and clothe ourselves and hopefully buy a fancy car or whatever floats your boat, any of that, at least ask, well, am I doing something that I also enjoy while I'm surviving? And for me, data science is easy to say, oh, yeah, I'm having a blast. I think I would do this even if no one was paying me and I didn't need to make any money or do anything. I'd still study data science for the fun of it. Now, if you can say yes to that, yes, become a data scientist.
Yeah, so we can sum it up in this way. If you don't have the power of experimenting or that curiosity, what next, what will happen next, then you might be choosing a wrong path because
Yes,
then data science is not for you.
very well
Okay,
put.
so thank you so much for the our first episode, and I would just like to ask you if you want to sum up and do some takeaways from today's session for our viewers. What would be your takeaways from today's sessions for Ta?
Yeah. So, to Tommen, in other words, to all the Taz out there, hey Taz, um, you've been an encouragement to me. Thank you. I, uh, I'm honored when people see me as a mentor, but I'm more honored when they see me as a friend. Because right now, I might be the teacher. You might be learning more from me than I'm learning from you. But I want all of you, Tommen, to believe in, by the way, Ta men is just plural for ta, so everyone knows it's not men that are ta. It's ta men and women out there. Please believe in your potential and please be patient and gentle with yourself. This is not easy stuff, but I will promise you this: if you seek to master the foundational principles, you will look back a few months from now and go, why did that seem so hard in the beginning? And I think I can explain why it did seem hard in the beginning, but run with that and help others see it from the angle where you had that aha moment. Help others have those aha moments because it will make you even deeper in your data science philosophies, more insightful. The more you help the community, the more insightful you will become. I just want to give a shout out while we're talking about this to Giuseppe Bonasacco. He wrote, oh shoot, Advanced Machine Algorithms in Python. That's a close approximation of the title, but Giuseppe writes a philosophically based post every day on LinkedIn, and they're deep. But I just appreciate him so much because he's always bringing us back to philosophy, and I want to do the same. I'm encouraging all of you to think deeply and broadly about what we do, but don't worry about getting there overnight. Do it in small steps. I'm a big fan of encouraging people learn linear regression really well and all the things you can do with linear regression. Then everything else will come a lot easier. It's super powerful, even if you're not going to use it in production. That you used it while you were getting to know the data better, you'll find it's always a good friend. And that's just an example to gaining better insights.
So thank you so much for having on a very crisp start to our mind sessions for our audience. And I am looking forward for your blogs ahead. And thank you so much for joining us today, Thom. So, people, please like, share, and subscribe to A.I.M Learning. I'll be linking down integrated MLAI block links in the description box. Don't forget to check it out. It's A.I.M Learning, you'll get over there. And I'll be linking his LinkedIn account and everything down so you can check it out and reach him out there. And even if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment sections below to us. So that's it all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.